All right, welcome back to another episode of the Next Man Up podcast. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but I just want to remind you guys what was on the last episode. So we talked about poaching, um, Korean teams, Japan teams, other international leagues trying to get Filipinos abroad. So we talked about that and the PBA trying to control that. Also, we talked about the beginning of the PBA season. It just started at the we as we're recording right now. We just had the opening ceremonies and the opening games yesterday, and also we had the Leo Awards that happened yesterday also. So we can actually compare um, our predictions and what really happened and who won the actual awards. And also, we talked about Kai Soto. Is he going to be drafted or is he not going to be signed? Is he going to be in the Summer League team or is he just going to sign a two-way contract? We talked about a lot of those in the last episode. But of course, the Next Man Up podcast won't survive with just me. Of course, I have to pull up my partner out here, Gelo Vito, my former teammate, also known as Mr. Hot Takes, Jello Beats. How are you? Welcome back to the show.
I'm good, my guy. And what's up to all the listeners right now? A lot of topics, a lot of issues to be talked about in this episode, so better watch out.
Yes, sir. All right. So basically, Next Man Up podcast, we just talk about a lot of hoops, whether in the Philippines, outside the Philippines. But if you're a hoop junkie, if you're a basketball fan, this is the podcast that you want to listen to. All right. So, but before we start with this episode, I just want to go for a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about today. First off, of course, SJ Belangel. There have been rumors that he's going to be going to a different team, a different league, or a different country. We don't know about that yet. And also, we're going to be talking about, of course, Kiefer Ravena, one of the best players here in the Philippines, and his contract. Where is he going to play? Is he going to play in Japan? Is he going to play here in the PBA? And also, talking about the PBA, we're going to be talking about the PBA award results. All right. So we had Gelo Vito right here to guess those PBA awards. Who's gonna win MVP, Most Improved Player, and Rookie of the Year? So we're gonna go back to that and then compare it um, to the actual awards. And after that, the PBA just started, so we're gonna be talking about the PBA game results, who won, and who's gonna be coming up next, and also Jason Brickman, also a Filipino hooper, going around the world just to show his talents. Also won a championship in the T1 League out in Taiwan. We're going to be talking about that as well. All right. But before we go on to the first topic, we are going to go. I just want to remind you guys about the Globally Ballin Network, of course. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. It's part of the Next Man Up podcast is part of this network. So make sure to follow us on all the social media accounts. And also, just to remind you guys, An Eternity of Basketball, one of the shows of Globally Ballin, they just had an episode 131. That's a lot of episodes with
Yeah.
Maki De Hoya. So make sure to listen to that. Um, that's on YouTube, that's on Spotify, Facebook. So make sure to listen to that if you are interested. But let's start it off, Jels. SJ to Korea. Reactions? I mean, it's not
Uh,
sure yet. I mean, yesterday there were a lot of reports that
yeah.
it's already been confirmed he's gonna be signing a 2-year deal. But when uh, he was watching the PBA game and he had a couple of interviews there, I mean, it was the perfect time to ask him questions. He said that there's nothing final yet. He hasn't signed the contract. He still has to decide the pros and cons of staying in Ateneo, staying in the
Yeah.
UAAP, or going abroad and finally turning pro, and playing in Korea, where he shot a buzzer beater to beat their national team. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't be even surprised why they're trying to get SJ. But
Yeah.
just
That's true.
thoughts on this?
After the first time I saw the article about SJ going to Korea, I was like, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
where did that come from? Like, I was kind of expecting other people, other players to to join the KBL, but I never thought it would be SJ because again,
Mhm.
SJ still has 2 playing years for the Blue Eagles, so there's still a lot of room for him to grow.
Yeah.
But I think the level of play that he's at right now is for international competitions, for international tournaments. Like the way he played in the Gilas and the way he orchestrated the offense for Ateneo in the last season in the UAAP. And I mean, he's up there. He's the top point guard, I must say, right now in the amateurs. Right
Hmm.
now in the UAAP and the collegiate level, he's the top point guard
I
out of
agree. I
everybody,
agree. I don't
out of
think
everyone.
anyone is in his level when it comes to playing that position. But
Yeah, that's right.
talking about SJ, bro, I just had a chance to play pickup with him.
Yeah.
I think last week we played pickup with a bunch of Ateneo guys, bunch of pro guys. Um, and I asked him, "What's your plans, bro?" He was like, uh, he wasn't sure yet. So the first time I asked him, so our first pickup, I asked him. His first answer was, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the UAAP. The next one I'm gonna play. The other, because he has 2 more years. So the first, the his let's say his fourth year, he's gonna play it because it's just this year. And he told me the fifth year he's gonna have to think about it. And then the next time I talked to him, he was like, I was like, so are you sure you're playing this year? He was like, I have to think about it because there are other opportunities. I'm not sure and all that. So I was like, I kind of knew something was up, something
Yeah.
was up in the air, but I guess he just didn't want any word to come out. But I
Yeah.
think it's out now. I mean, there were reports and articles already, and I agree with you, Jello, that SJ is that type of a point guard, that type of a caliber when it comes to playing basketball. But what can you say about people um, saying that SJ is a system player? He's not that type. Na you can get him as an import, give him the ball, and he's gonna get buckets and he's gonna run the show. They're saying, he's there because of the system of Coach Tab. That's why he's one of the best in the winningest teams in Ateneo.
I really don't think that SJ is just a system player. I mean, he's just good because of the Tab Baldwin system or the
Mm-hmm.
system that he runs in
Mm-hmm.
Ateneo. But when you take a look at it individually, if you look at SJ as SJ alone and without the Ateneo system, the way he plays on both ends of the floor
Mm-hmm.
is probably one of the best right now in the
Yeah.
amateurs. He can score off the dribble, he can hit those pull-up jumpers, he can create for himself and for his teammates. And on the defensive end, he knows how to switch. He's a
Yeah.
very smart player. He may not be the strongest, I must say. He's fast. He's
Yeah.
fast. He's athletic. He's shifty. But but the way his IQ is being brought up into the game,
Yeah.
that makes him one of the best point guards right now. And he can, if he even enters the PBA draft, let's say next year,
Yeah. He's gonna
he
get
can be
drafted.
he's gonna be like a top 10 easily. He's gonna be a top 10 easily, and he can right away, right off the bat, he can already contribute.
I agree. I mean, the kid once scored 99 points. Just, I mean,
Exactly,
I'm not sure if that's in high school or in grade school. I
but
mean, the kid
still,
scored
but still,
99 points. Talking about system players, he's no matter what system he's in, he's a bucket. All right,
he's a
but
bucket.
do you think Jello that the basketball in the Philippines is in trouble because we had this problem with the PBA
Yeah,
guys going abroad, playing in the B League, playing in different leagues around the world. But this time it's starting already in the UAAP.
yeah,
UAAP players haven't even s- finished all their
finished.
playing years yet, and they have offers. I mean, it's not just SJ. You know, I'm just not gonna name names, but there are players that are already talking to some of the
Yeah,
foreign teams, even. during college, right? So, but they still want to finish UAAP. Of course, respect to them. But do you think the UAAP should prevent this? Should they do anything to prevent this, or they should just allow it? If they're gonna prevent it, what can they do?
Here's my take on this one. All right. Now I kind of understand if looking at it in hindsight. I kind of understand where Ricky Vargas was coming from in terms of the poaching stuff that he's talking about.
Hmm.
Um, to cut the long story short, I think the PBA he just wants to protect the PBA in terms of those
Yeah.
international agents and all of that. Because by the end of the day, those international that what he's saying, they're unregistered. Those unregistered agents are saying is that they're just there just because our players they think that our players are just commodities. We don't care if the PBA those agents don't care if the PBA loses top players in the country. Like doesn't matter because I'm earning off of them, right?
Yeah.
So the way I see it is, I think in some sense the Philippine basketball is in trouble. I mean, the PBA must say in such a way that because of those incidents, they're just probably protecting, and I really think that they're not really hindering players to go abroad. It's just
Mhm.
that uh, they're just trying to protect the contracts because there have been issues that players have existing contracts and yet here comes this
Makes sense.
international
So
agent
the
coming in, and then
UAAP should do that.
I really think the UAAP should look at it first, and I mean they screen it, and at the same time make a consensus decision if whether or not they should go to the international or go to the PBA or whatever. But I really think the UAAP won't touch on it. To be
Yeah,
honest with you,
for sure. I mean, because
I
they're
really don't
amateurs.
think
Who I don't think
basically
it's
they're amateurs. Yeah,
yeah. So I
and
don't think
again they have their own backyard to protect to
yeah. So
protect, right?
I
So
don't think UAP is gonna do anything about it just because they're amateur. I don't think there's
yeah,
like a connection with that.
yeah,
But I think this might be the start, Jello, of players not even finishing all their years in college. I mean, it's happening around the world. It's happening in
yeah,
in the States. It's happening in Europe. If they have the opportunity to turn pro, they're gonna turn pro. Especially
yeah,
if you're a pure hooper. I mean, if you think you're gonna earn a living from
yeah.
hooping, why
That's true.
stop yourself, right,
Yeah,
from actually getting the bag, getting the
hmm
opportunity to
earning.
earn just by
Yeah,
playing basketball, right? So I mean, maybe some rules here and there because it's the first time that it's happening, but it's up to the players. I think the players are having more power now when it comes to
yeah,
decision making,
yeah.
and I
That's
like
true.
it. I like it. It's something new. um I guess we just have to control it a little bit. That's I
Yeah.
think that's where the PBA and the UAP is coming from. So all right. Also, there was a rumor that SJ Belangel might go to Daegu Kogas Pegasus. No reports yet, but if you heard that anywhere, I think you're gonna hear that first here.
First here. Yep.
And yeah, you gotta look back at we're gonna look back at this. Oh, okay, we kind of called it. This is talking about Kiefer's contract in the PBA or in Japan. What I heard from reports, of course, the B League season is not starting yet, so Kiefer
Yep.
wants to play at least one conference here in the PBA. But I think the NLEX Road Warriors want him to play
To finish the
a
entire
whole
year.
season. So that's
Yeah.
gonna probably remove some months on Kiefer's playing contract in the B League because he has to finish one whole season, and that's where the negotiations are at this point, according to reports, right?
hmm
So, what do you think? Should the PBA allow Kiefer to play one conference, or they should push for one whole season? I think personally, it's good for the league if he plays one whole season, but for Kiefer, the salary is way beyond what he's
Yeah,
gonna be
like
earning. I mean, the max in the PBA is not even a secret. It's at 420,
for
right?
420. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the max is 420, and we know that a lot of people are getting more than that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in the B League, it's way more. I think, yeah,
Way
I think
more, bro.
over 2M a month when you convert it to
I
pesos.
think it's 40. I think it's $40,000.
I mean, where are you gonna get
I
that
mean,
kind of money here, right?
exactly,
So
exactly.
if you were Keith Jels, let's say, okay, in a
Wow. If I
theoretical
were Keith.
standpoint, yeah,
Wow, if I were
Jelovic
Keith.
out of nowhere, you are Kiefer Ravena level when it comes to the hooping and everything.
Oh my
What are
god,
you
I
gonna do?
wish.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Uh no, if I'm in Kiefer's shoes right now, uh I would try to milk out every bit of option and every bit of negotiation just to push the
Mm,
one conference play. Or even two. Or even two.
yeah,
I play Philippine Cup and then I play Commissioner's Cup.
yeah,
The one without an import and one conference with an import. Then I'm done. But again, if I'm gonna look at it, I also have to look at the B League schedule.
yeah,
Because again, I'm assuming, let's say, assuming the Shiga Lake Stars says that, oh, we can't put you in the lineup or we can't give you a contract once you're finished there and once the B League season is
yeah,
starting.
yeah. It's tough.
So
It's tough.
that's very contradicting. So I really feel that Kiefer is bargaining to play in the PBA for one conference just because so he can reach the
The
start
schedule.
or
Yeah,
even before the start of the B League. So that's the compromise he wants. So at least he's probably saying, "Oh, I played in the PBA for one conference. I gave
yeah,
what you want, but
yeah,
I still have obligations here on the other side that I should reach." Because again, for sure, the B League won't allow Kiefer to sign a contract in the middle of the season or during the start of the season
makes
when the
sense.
season starts, right? So because I think in the B League they have a signing period. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, they only have a
yeah, they
signing
do.
period, and they're
Yes,
very,
they do.
very, 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 very strict with that. Not unlike in the NBA, where right in the middle of the season you can get signed or you can
Yeah, yeah.
whatever get a 10-day right away. But that's not the case in B League, right? So, how about you, Diggs? If you were in Kiefer's shoes, you're given that situation, and you're given these options.
Yeah.
Probably, I must say, limited options.
Mm-hmm.
What should you do in terms of
I mean,
money? In terms of
you said it perfectly, Just. I'd do what you would do because you explained it perfectly. I mean, theoretically, Gelo Vito and Kiefer Ravena's body, Kiefer Ravena's skill set,
mm,
that's the same thing I would do. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, try to play both. Give the PBA the what they want. The PBA fans, beautiful basketball coming from Kiefer, one of the best hoopers in the Philippines, and also play abroad. I mean, nothing wrong with that. You're representing the country in a different league. You know, I think the fans should look at it that way instead of, oh, just play here in the PBA. I mean, it shouldn't be a competition. It should be
yeah,
a Filipino
partnership.
hooping here and a Filipino hooping abroad.
Yeah,
No difference with that. Both Filipino hoopers trying to make a living and representing the country, right?
yeah, that's right.
So let's ask the listeners. I mean, if you're listening on YouTube, Facebook, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to write on the comments your questions, maybe if you have questions, or what do you think? What should the UAAP or the PBA do to prevent this, or should they even prevent it? Or if you were Kiefer Ravena, if you were, let's do the same thing what we did with Gelo Vito right here. If you were in Kiefer Ravena's body, with the same skill set, same mind, same hooping ability, what would you guys do? Let us know. We're very interested in what you guys are gonna say. All right, since we mentioned the PBA, Jello, we're gonna be talking about the PBA awards and the
Ah,
results. All right, so why don't you get us going? Who won the MVP? Who won the Most Improved Player and the Rookie of the Year, Gels? And
all
then
right.
compare it to your guesses last week. Because last
Ah,
week, I'm just gonna mention it. For
Yeah.
MVP, you mentioned Mikey and Robert just because of the stats. For
Yeah.
most improved, um, you said it's either gonna be Kib or I think also mentioned Aaron Black, right? Kib or
Yeah,
Aaron Black.
yeah.
And then Rookie of the Year, Mikey Williams. So you're 1 out of 3, Gels. You're one out
I'm
of
one
three.
out of three.
Yeah,
No, I
I think
mean
I mentioned for most improved, I kind of mentioned Wami Tiongson just
Wami.
because of the
Yeah.
numbers.
We had
And
an
I got
argument. We
that
had an
right.
argument. Yeah, we had an argument with it.
Yeah,
But actually, let's start with the rookie of the year first. Then we go our way up. Rookie of the year, it's consensus, bro.
no question.
It's no question.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's a no brainer that Mikey Williams will win that one. So no argument with that. Let's look at the most improved player award. I was kind of pushing and kind of leaning towards Kib Montalvo, as I was saying back in our episode 2 weeks ago. I was saying that Kib made the most impact in his team, comparing it to other players,
Yeah.
in terms of how he played defense, how he went up the scale, went up the ladder to start from a bench player to a starter in the Philippine Cup Finals, and I went with Kib. We kind of went with Kib, but Wami Chongson won that one, so that's an L for
I mean, the
me.
numbers don't lie. I mean, the
The
numbers
numbers
don't
don't
lie
lie.
with the
Yeah.
most improved player in Wami
Yeah.
getting it. I mean,
Yeah.
he
I
was
mean,
just consistent, both
yeah, all
on,
throughout.
I mean, elimination round, Philippine Cup, and the Governors Cup. So
Yeah, and
it,
yeah, we should all be happy for Wami because
yeah,
he was at the verge of just quitting right after his stint with right after being dropped to the D League, going back up again down to the D
yeah,
League, and right now he's the most improved player and being the top point guard for Terra Firma
yeah.
this
And the
year.
guy's getting
So
a bag. Yeah,
yeah, he's getting a huge bag right now, and he can like literally after winning this MIP award, he should ask for the stars and the moon right now, bro.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and for the MVP, we never got to talk about Scotty Thompson. You never got to talk about Scotty Thompson. We
Yeah,
were just so focused with Mikey and Robert Bollick just because of the stats and just the way how they impacted the PBA and their teams respectively. But because we got to talk about sorry for with Scotty for a while, but just because he played so good in the
yeah,
last conference of the last season that
yeah,
he suddenly went out of nowhere like wow, there's the Scotty Thompson we're looking for. There's
yeah.
the Scotty Thompson that we want, and we saw an improved Scotty Thompson in that. But conference prior to that, he wasn't really there. Probably because it's in a bubble setup again, so he wasn't really 100%, or his
And I
mind is
think
not into it.
Stanley Pringle was there also, so he was
Exactly.
carrying the court with him.
Yeah.
And normally your numbers would dip because they're basically the same position. But right
Yeah.
now, since Stanley Pringle was out, Scotty was able to play more point guard rather than shooting
Duties, yeah.
guard. So he had the
Yeah.
ball more. And I was able to talk to now Coach Jamike in one of our interviews. That's the next level for Scotty Thompson. He has the shooting now. The next level is trying to lead the team. I mean, LA Tenorio is not getting any younger, and that's going to be Scotty Thompson's role
Yeah.
to lead a team at the point guard position, having the ball more in his hands, maybe getting his dribbling and ball handling better because he's going to be getting a lot of pressure defense from a lot of guards like Gio Halalo and Mark Baroka
Yeah.
and all the other guards that want to stop him. But yeah, Jels,
Yeah.
1 out of 3 for you. Mikey Williams, Rookie of the Year. That's the only take you got. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all right. That's all right. I
That's
mean,
all right.
it could have been any. I think if Scotty didn't win MVP, he would have won Most Improved.
Most improved.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But if he didn't win Most Improved, he was gonna win MVP. But also
Mhm.
because it's not just player votes. The coaches,
Yeah. Media, coaches, and all of that.
even the commissioner's office. So Scotty is one of the nicest guys ever. So the media
Yeah.
would love him, right? I mean, Mikey Williams isn't even in
He's not even in the country, man. He's not
yeah,
even in the country.
he's still negotiating for the contract.
Yeah,
So I don't
exactly.
think the commissioner's office would love that. I don't
Would
think he
love
had
that.
a vote
No,
from that
no,
office, right?
no.
Um, yeah, I mean Robert Bollick, numbers wise, yes. Media wise, I would think he would get it, but
Yes,
I think winning is also should
a big
be
factor. Yeah,
a big factor in
big factor
choosing
for
this.
that one.
I don't
Yeah.
think the Northport Batang Pier made it to the semis in any of the conferences. He just had produced the numbers. So yeah, it was congratulations to all the winners, to all the awardees. You guys really deserve it.
Yeah.
The MVP, most improved rookie of the year.
But Jegs, just to follow up,
Yeah,
I really can't let this go.
yeah.
Chris Ross and Arwin Santos was part of the all defensive team. Both guys, Arwin Santos at age 40, 40 plus, and Chris Ross also nearing his
Okay, let's
40s.
let's brush up on that. Who won the mythical team? First five, first
First
mythical
time,
team.
I think it was Mikey Williams, Calvin Abueva, Junmar Fajardo, and Arwin Santos.
I mean, that's
And
crazy.
Scotty.
Arvin Santos at 42 years old won the mythical. I think 40,
First
41,
first
42?
team. I think he's
First team.
42. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second
And-
team was second team is San Miguel, CJ Perez, Hinebres, C Stan, Phoenix,
Mhm.
Matthew Wright, and Ian Sangalang. And Robert Bollick.
That's the question for me. How can Robert Bollick be in the second team if he was running for MVP? Probably because he has the same position as Scotty
Yeah.
and Mikey. So
Yeah.
I would kind of get that, but numbers wise, Robert was better than Mikey in terms of stats. I think he
Yeah.
could have won that first team mythical.
Yeah, I
five.
think
But
I think I think yeah. They have
let's
to
talk about
for
the all
me, for me.
defensive team. You mentioned it, Gels. Chris Ross, Arwin Santos, Kelly Williams, Gio Halalan, and Cliff Hodge. Any surprises here, and who could have won? Who could have gotten in?
To tell you honestly, I'm hella satisfied with that the all defensive team, man.
Yeah,
Like you match up that with let's say a top team here in the PBA. Let's say match it up with San Miguel or the Talk and Text.
Yeah.
That team would stop the first until the third team.
yeah, for sure.
No
Cliff
doubt, bro.
Hodge finally won it. I mean, he could.
Yeah.
He posted it. He said, "I could finally say first team all defense." He was waiting for
Yeah.
this to happen, and he can finally
Yeah.
say that in every practice, in every game. Arwin
Yeah.
Santos, of course, he blocks a lot of shots, so no question about it. Kelly Williams, also one of the main reasons why TNT won in the
Yeah.
Philippine Cup.
He's been anchoring that defense for TNT.
Yep, Gio Halalan, of course, one of the peskiest guys ever when it comes to stealing that basketball, pressuring point guards. I think though that Chris Newsom should actually also be here. He's one of the top defenders also when it comes to guarding whether big guys or wings. Maybe he
Yeah.
would win it once Chris Ross retires because Chris Ross is still the man of steel.
Yeah.
Breaking records here and there. I still think he's gonna make it maybe top 3 all time when it comes to the steals.
Steals.
But yeah, so we're done. We're done with the PBA, of course.
Yeah.
The PBA results. But before we go to the PBA game results, because the opening day just happened, I just want to remind you guys about our network. Once again, Globally Ballin, and Next Man Up is part of that network. Catch all episodes on YouTube and Spotify. On YouTube, it's Globally Ballin. On Spotify, it's Next Man Up. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And we're gonna have live streams here and there on Facebook. Also, we're gonna have some guests. So make sure to tune into that and make sure to subscribe so you know when we're gonna go live. And please, please, please share this episode when you're listening to it. That's gonna help us a lot. And also, just since we're here already plugging the network, we're gonna be talking about Hang Time with Denise Densai. Make sure to listen to that. Also, one of the shows of Globally Ballin, where they had Jai Reyes, a former hooper and now a commissioner of Phil Basket, one of the growing leagues here in the Philippines. That's episode 53. Make sure to listen to that because that's going to be an interesting conversation as well. Now, Jels, let's go to the PBA game results. It was
All
Rain or
right.
Shine and Converge, and for the opening game, right? And then the second
Yeah.
game it was TNT, and was it Magnolia? TNT Magnolia.
TNT and Magnolia. Yes, TNT and
Yeah.
Magnolia. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the first game. It's between the Rain and Shine Elasto Painters and the debuting Converge Fiber Xers. Rain and Shine won that game 79-77 on that Bo Belga step back 3-pointer. My
Ooh,
goodness.
I saw that on Instagram. It was
It
crazy.
was nasty. It was over the rookie, but it was over the rookie Gio and bot. But then again, that's Bo Belga. That's the veteran Bo Belga for you. It was from a after timeout play of Coach Kaloy. But it didn't really materialize because Converge switched on everything. But
Yeah.
it was a two-man. It just boiled down between a two-man game between Rain and Batak and Bo Belga. Bo Belga popping out after that screen. Rain and Batak pitching it back. Shot fake, jab, step back, 3-pointer, game over. So
So
again,
if you
let's
guys
talk
are
about
listening to this, you guys gotta search that.
you
It's
gotta
everywhere.
search.
Instagram, Facebook. It was
It's
Big
everywhere.
Bo showing us his guard skills. I mean, shot fake,
Crazy.
step back three,
Yeah.
putting the young guy to school, and
Yeah.
maybe telling him go back to college. I mean, that's how crazy that move was. And
Yeah.
I think Big Bo was the only guy who could have made that shot and try to even attempt that shot at that point
Yeah.
of the game. That's
Yeah.
the veteran in Big Bo.
Yeah. So again, let's talk about first the Converge Fiber Xers. Uh, huge game from JT Geronteng.
Yeah.
He played 32 minutes to close to 33, scoring a good double, 23 points and 13 rebounds
Woo.
in his debut game for Converge.
Mhm.
I mean, he's gonna be that guy for Converge. He's gonna be the face of that franchise in the next years to come.
I agree.
And the way he played yesterday, I saw the fourth quarter. He injured his finger. I think it was a dislocation. I don't know. He just stood back up, went to the bench, got it treated, scored another few buckets after. That's Geronteng. That's Geronteng. He was all over the floor. He was spearheading everything, getting those offensive rebounds, putting it back. He had 10 defensive rebounds and 3 offensive rebounds in that game.
Wow.
Uh,
I mean, that's
and
just JT. He's doing it in the PBA now. What he was doing in the UAAP
college, yeah.
He's
Like,
he's in that form. He's back. His confidence is that high. He's been working on his jump shot. So this Converge team, I like it. I mean, they went up against a rain or shine team, a lot of veterans. It's their first game and they played well. Geronteng 23, Stockton and Ilagan, the young guys stepping up with 13
Yeah.
and 10. So yeah, but rain or shine, I think it's just their experience that won it for them because they won
Yeah.
it in the late game. I think Converge was leading in majority of the ball game.
yeah.
Now let's
So
talk
let's
about the
get-
next game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next game was between TNT Tropang Giga and Magnolia Templados.
It's not the hot shots anymore.
the hot shots anymore. Yeah, and I think TNT Tropang Giga won that game 78-72. It was a close match all throughout the game. It was a neck and neck game. Huge game for Troy Rosario for TNT. Troy Rosario put up great numbers. He scored 22 points and 10 rebounds. And Jason Castro also as well. He off the bench
16.
he had 16 points and 6 assists. But you got to look at the numbers from Poyeram. Not really big on scoring. He had a bad scoring night, but he grabbed 14 rebounds in that game.
Wow.
So props to him.
I mean, he only had 8 points but had 14 rebounds. And
yeah,
in this game, it was really Jason Castro who stepped up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a TNT team without Mikey Williams.
Mhm.
I mean, they're still renegotiating, as mentioned earlier. So it's Jason Castro who, took control of the ball game in the fourth. That's usually Mikey Williams. Jason Castro had to put on his uh, maybe 28-year-old shorts and to try to throw back with a Jason Castro performance, and that's what he did with 16 points and 6 assists. So he just took over in that
Yeah.
shot Reyes dribble drive system. But Magnolia, usually they really start off slow in the Philippine
In the
Cup, and then
season, yeah.
slowly they would
Then all
when
of a
it's
sudden,
playoff time, yeah.
yeah, all of a sudden they're number three, number two in the
Exactly. So when
in
it's
the
near the
in the
playoff
season.
time, they turn it up a notch, a different
Yeah,
level for them. But as
yeah, yeah.
expected, Ian Sangalang had 18 points in the Philippine Cup. This is Ian Sangalang's world. In the import
Yeah.
conference, he would usually go off the bench because imports would usually take his spot on the starting five. But
Yeah,
this is where he feasts.
yeah,
18 points for Ian Sangalang, Baroka with 14, Abueva MVP candidate with 12,
yeah.
Halalan also with 12, but Paul Lee just with 4. So
4 points.
I think that will slowly go up when talking about Paul Lee, one of the top scorers within Magnolia.
It's
You
just the
called
first
it,
game.
Chelo. You called it though. You called it that TNT would win this. I
Yeah.
remember that. TNT would
Mhm.
win this, and also that Rain or Shine would win the opening game. So
But I didn't expect Converge to go neck and neck with
yeah,
Rain or Shine in that game. But so
yeah,
props to them
I
and
remember that.
future's
Yeah.
bright. Yeah, future's bright for them.
All right, so it's going to be an exciting PBA season because I think there are going to be 5 game days a week. So that's a
Ooh,
lot of basketball
that's a
for a
lot of
lot of
basketball. Yeah.
hoop fans, for the hoop
Yeah.
junkies. But talking about basketball, not here in the Philippines, we're going to go fly all the way to Taiwan because Jason Brickman is now a champion in the T1 league in Taiwan. I mean, this guy is a winner. He's won in a lot of places in a lot of countries. So it was a picture perfect pass for Jason Brickman. He assisted for that game winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he found their import, drained the big three with 3 seconds left, and finally won
Yeah.
uh, that
The guy.
championship.
Yeah. Jason Brickman.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jason Brickman is on another level in terms of international play.
yeah.
He's been a veteran. I would say he's a veteran OFW baller.
Yes,
Like
sir.
he's been in the Taiwan League. He's been in
Hmm.
the ABL. He's been in
Yeah.
other leagues. He's been in Thailand, and he's putting up these numbers
Yeah, I mean, this
consistently
guy, we got to remember, this guy is one of the leaders when it comes to assists, not in the NCAA in the States,
in the states.
not just, not just here in the Philippines or in
Yeah,
different countries. In the States, he's one
in
of
the
the top
states.
assist guy.
Yeah,
And in that closing game to win the championship, he flirted with a triple double. He had
yeah.
23 points,
Nine
9
rebounds and then
rebounds, 9
crazy,
assists, and 2
crazy,
steals. I mean, all
crazy.
around performance. This is what you expect from an import, an Asian import. These are the numbers that you would want from them.
Yeah,
And if SJ can do this, I would totally, cancel that. I would totally cancel the statement that SJ is a system player because if you have this line, I mean, it's over. I mean, props to this guy, Jason Brickman. I was able to work out with him because he was supposed to play Meralco 3x3, so I was able to train with him. This guy is one of the nicest guys I've
yeah,
ever met. One of the
yeah,
hardest working guys. He always puts in the work, and that's why
hmm
he's one of the greatest hoopers around the world,
yeah.
traveling from country to country, and he's a great guy. His idol is Jason Kidd. I see the
I
similarities
see
when
the
it
similar.
comes to
Yeah,
passing. Yeah, he's. I think he's one of the best. I hope we see him here in the Philippines. Maybe soon.
but Jegs, the question for you: do you think he should enter the PBA draft next year?
I think so. I mean, it wouldn't be bad for him to enter the PBA draft. He told me it's one of his dreams also to play in the PBA, but he has the opportunity to play in Taiwan. He got that first because the PBA was still in question here if the season was going to play because of the pandemic. So he had to take the next best opportunity. But I think eventually we're going to see Jason Brickman in a PBA uniform. I think it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when,
Right.
and I'm just excited because this guy is a
Yeah,
bucket. I'm excited how he's gonna perform in the PBA. I'm sure any team would want to have him as a point guard because he just makes
That's true.
everyone better.
That's
Well,
true.
all right, this is a great
Yeah.
conversation. A lot of basketball that was, brought up here in the Philippines, in Japan, in Korea, in
Yeah.
Taiwan. So we're going to different places now. Just maybe
Yeah.
we'd see a Filipino in Europe. Maybe in the
Who
draft
knows?
we're talking about Kai Sota in the NBA. We'll never know. But that is the
Yeah.
next Man Up podcast, episode 5. Yeah, we talk about a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
So make
Yeah.
sure to tune in. That was Gelo Vito, my former teammate in the UP Fighting Maroons, and me, Diego Dario, also a pro hooper, and both of us are analysts here in the Philippines. So if you're listening to this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. For all the listeners, who do you think is going to be the next Jason Brickman, probably as a local? And do you think Jason Brickman is going to be playing in the PBA? And who is your team in the PBA? Comment down below. We would love to see. Are you guys Ginebra fans, TNT fans? Any?
SMB. Yeah.
We just want to see. We just want to see who our listeners are. All right. And so that was it. Thank you guys for listening. Jelovich, thank you for your time, brother.
Thanks, Jegs. Thanks to all our listeners, and continue to listen. Please continue listening to our podcast, and we have more topics to talk about. We have more issues to discuss, more issues, and all of that. And
Yes,
we'll
sir.
see you soon.
Yes, sir. Peace out.